Installing one of our shade sails on a folding canopy top is pretty straightforward. Justin here with SewLong. Today we're going to walk you through all the steps so you have a successful installation on either one of our folding canopies or one of the rigid framed Biminis. The nice part is you don't need a lot of tools, just a couple Allen wrenches and a tape measure and the hardware kit. With the kit, you'll get the clamps that go around the tower and the socket for the pole to go in. So first we're going to start with the main clamp that hooks onto the Bimini frame. You want to make sure that you've got the arrow pointing to the back of the boat. And what that's going to do is get the tips of the sail nice and wide and make sure you have a proper fit with the canvas. So we put the clamp on the main bar towards the back. So I leave the bolts loose at first so I can slide this bracket into position. What you want is it as far back as you can without interfering with the canvas, and you don't really want it running into this bend. So you also want to make sure this surface is nice and perpendicular. There's no exact measurement it needs to be. The important part is that both sides are the same. So you just simply measure one side and make sure the other side matches. So the next step is to get the socket installed. You want to make sure that the knob for the D-ring is down and the hole is back. And it's going to go right here. And you can see the array of holes which will allow you to adjust the angle of your shade sail. So here we are on a Paragon. The installation is almost the same on this rigid frame as it is on our folding canopy. Take a look. As you can see on the Paragon here, it has this exposed piece of pipe. Every tower and pipe is going to be a little bit different on these rigid frames. But the goal is to be able to clamp it on here and slide it as far back as you can without interfering too much with this bend. So same principle applies. You want to make sure these are nice and vertical before you really crank these down. And just like on the other steps, you want to make sure you choose the socket where the hole's to the back and your knob is to the bottom. And you'll be able to adjust it for the ideal angle you want and put your last two bolts in. Once you've got all the hardware installed on both sides, insert the poles and double check for symmetry. Once you've got your poles in, your hardware mounted, you want to stand back and make sure that the tips are wider than the mounting base. Everything looks really symmetrical. And then the last step is just to go back and double check and retighten every bolt. So we just went through how to install the hardware on one of our folding canopy tops or rigid mounted frames. If you have a tower mount, speaker mount, or even a board rack mount for a shade sail, check out our videos below. Our next video is going to be about how to actually put the canvas on and enjoy the shade. Keep watching.